Welcome back once again to my show Noble by Richa, a leadership podcast. And today we have Commander Vijay Balaji here with us on our show. And he is going to tell us how the leadership differs from the armed forces and being into corporate. So, welcome to the show, Commander Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richa. I'm very happy to be here with you and with all of you. It's a wonderful opportunity to be here. Well, my journey began at the age of 17. When I was just out of 12th standard, it was a big decision whether to spend my father's money or to earn money for myself. So I chose the better option, and that's how I became a naval officer subsequently. So I was serving in the Naval Aviation Technical Branch as an aeronautical engineer. And I take immense pride because I've been able to sail in almost 18 ships of the Indian Navy. And seeing those huge machines fly in front of you and land in middle of the sea on those moving decks, it's a privilege which you can only experience it and you cannot put it on words. So the career has been absolutely satisfying in the Navy, but I thought probably I've done enough for the Navy and probably I should leave space for the youngsters to take the positions. So I moved out of the Navy and I'm presently serving the student community. I'm into an educational administration and I think I'm very much contented in this job too.
That's great to know. So, at the age of 17, taking a decision to be a part of armed forces, getting into Indian Navy, how did you, take this decision? Because that age is very crucial.
Yeah, you'll not believe it. I was very much into extracurricular activities in my school. So my teachers and my parents used to pray to whatever possible that let this boy become a good human being in future. Though I was, but I was not able to prove it to them. So I was into movies, I was into dancing, I was into a lot of extracurricular activities. But there came this call-up letter which I had just applied during my school time. And it was a decision whether to be on the stage and be a hero as a real hero or to wear the uniform and become a real hero in life. So some wisdom prevailed and I chose the better option to be in the uniform and serve the country.
That's really great to know. So, during your entire journey, your experience with Indian Navy, you must have seen the life and death. So, what is the situation which keeps you awake whole day and night thinking about that situation? Any story behind it?
Yeah, you're right, because a lot of decisions are taken when you do not have enough resources around you, constrained atmosphere, very less time, and absolutely no guidance. So these are a mix of ingredients which is definitely difficult for any normal human being. But again, thanks to the training, thanks to the armed forces, thanks to my seniors, they have groomed each one of us so well. We have groomed so many of the youngsters. We are trained to take decisions. We are trained to take the nation's pride in front of us. There have been many incidences. I would like to quote a couple of them. As I told you, I was in the aviation technical branch. So my job was to get the assets flying.
Okay.
The helicopters, or many people are qualified in fighters, maritime reconnaissance aircraft, UAVs, or which are called as drones these days.
Yes.
We've got remotely piloted aircraft, RPAs. So our job is to get these machines flying on the air, defying the gravity, and complete the mission and come back safe to the deck in case of a ship or to the base in case of a ground-based system. So there was a situation, I will not quote the names of the organizations. You can say somewhere in the coastal of the country. There was a call suddenly that some illegal activity or something which is not normal is happening around the coast of the country. We need to launch a helicopters. So this call was received at around 2300 hours or 11 p.m. in the night. And I was in my training that time. I was in my initial days of my training. My seniors were already embarked in different ships and I had to take a decision. Because I'm a commissioned officer, my men, these days men and women, those days it was only men who were looking up to me, कि साहब क्या decision लेंगे? And my commanding officer is looking up to me, are we having an helicopter to go? Now here is a situation where the helicopter has been completely stripped open for some major inspection. All serviceable helicopters or all operational helicopters have already embarked. I'm sitting with an helicopter which is stripped open, and there is a mission which is beckoning you. So then, since we are able to take decisions, we've got a team which we can rely upon. We start seeing the jobs in hand, and a decision was taken in the next 3 hours. We will start packing up
Really?
the system
Okay.
with mission critical role. May not be the helicopters completely serviceable in all aspects, but for the mission, are we ready to go up? You will not believe, Richa. 11 o'clock, the team closes up. By 11:15, we start the work. By 2:30, we are almost done. And we start our, we call it as a ground run or the run before the helicopter is airborne. That happens through the night. And with the first light, because we cannot fly during the night if it is coming out of a major inspection, because it is a matter of safety.
Okay.
So, with the first ray of sunlight, the helicopter did the first sortie.
Oh, that's really great.
And like this, there have been enough number of missions. This was a real-time threat which was due to intelligence input we got. But there have been real situations like off coast in Bombay. You would have seen a lot of ships sinking, a lot of emergencies happening during the monsoon,
Yes.
where the humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, these things are all one of the primary roles of the Navy. So many times our ships get launched, we go, we pick up the lives, and when they come back, when you see the joy in those eyes, who are not knowing where are they going to be in the next few minutes, they are completely alive and they are with us in our airbase. I mean, these decisions, whether aircraft will go, whether they'll be able to save the life, these decisions are critical because you are going to save a life or you're going for the nation's security.
Yeah.
You should not take a decision where your own crew is not going to come back because of a mistake of yours. So I have to ensure the helicopter is completely serviceable. My crew flies it safe, gets the lives safe, and come back. Because the helicopter will go, but I need to face the families later.
Yeah, right.
So these decisions have been very critical in my life, and I'm very fortunate that all my decisions have been perfectly correct.
So, how spontaneous decisions needs to be taken being in Indian Navy? If we talk about your journey, and a message you want to give to corporate leaders, where they have chances to take different decisions, but being at your part, sometimes like you explained now, you just have to take a decision considering everybody's life safety. How important it is.
Yeah, spontaneity is one aspect, but I definitely respect the corporate leaders because they've been successful in so many ventures of theirs. I'm sure the leadership is also very much pronounced in them. But probably the difference is the time in which we take the decision, the lack of guidance in mid sea when you're sailing. You just look around, you only see blue, 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 either the water or the horizon, what you see. Absolutely no one to ask to. You are the officer in command. You are being looked up to by a lot of people. The entire country is looking at you. You need to take the decision. So the spontaneity and the magnitude of the impact that will happen after the decision. So these things play on your mind. As I said, the Navy and the forces train you so well that your decisions are always on the path with the priorities of nation security first, the security and safety of people who are believing you, and third is your personal comfort.
Okay.
So these aspects are always in our mind, and in this order, we are able to take the decisions. So if something has to come out of my personal comfort, but it's definitely going to favor my people who are working, or I need to probably stand up to for securing my country's borders or country's seawater line, I'll definitely take that decision at whatever cost it may be. So decisiveness is one good quality you'll find in all armed forces personnel.
Oh, that's really great, and I'm sure our audience and all the corporate leaders out there who are doing their best will learn how to be more spontaneous with their decisions for their team members. So, do you think so that being disciplined plays a very important role being a leader, even if you are on land or in water or in any department for that matter, and how important it is to be disciplined in Indian Navy?
Importance of discipline. It's a very understatement, Richa, because importance is a very understatement. I would rather say discipline is the backbone of the forces.
Okay.
Discipline is backbone of the Indian Navy, or it is the backbone of Indian Air Force or the Indian Army. Because, as I said, spontaneity and the reaction time you have. There are many situations you encounter. Like for the ease of understanding, let's take a scenario where you need to fire now or not at the enemy ship, or for an army, whether you need to go and attack or not. So that time, there is one person who's taking the decision, and there is a group of people who need to obey and execute with complete trust on the person who's taking the decision. So this does not happen until and unless discipline is in your blood. So showing I'm disciplined is not there in the Navy. It's not there in the forces. Being disciplined as the core of your bringing up is there in every individual of the forces. Okay. Because discipline is the backbone of the entire organization.
So, what is the message you want to give to all the corporate people, whether it's leadership or the people who are working at different designations, that that they make sure that they are being disciplined in their day to day life?
Yeah, I'll again give a very small example. Discipline is not something very big. Discipline is something about um, being on time.
Okay.
Being on time to office, being on time to anything. Like I tell you that I will meet you at 0900. So 0859, I'm expected to be done with everything else and wait for the person to come. I give that 1 minute for me to settle down to address the next person. For all of us, reaching office in time, it seems like an Herculean task. But believe me, rather than blaming it on traffic, blaming it on mama, blaming it on the wife, or blaming it on the husband, it's so easy. Keep 15 minutes of buffer in your life. You will become disciplined, because when you give time and you follow your time, people look up to you at a very high pedestal. And that is what the important message I want to give, be it the junior most or the most lower level employee or the topmost bosses. And I'm sure you must have seen all successful leaders are very particular about that time.
Yes, yes.
So exactly. if it is 0900, it cannot be 0901. So that is one of the biggest message I want to give. And second thing, being in the forces, discipline is taken for granted. You will be disciplined.
Why it is so?
Because you've been trained and grilled like that. So if somebody tells me you have to be there at 9 o'clock, definitely you'll have the team waiting there much before 9 o'clock.
So you mean to say that if somebody comes late, given the time in armed forces, so what kind of repercussions they have to face?
Okay, I'll just keep it a little humorous here. You gave me a time, I was there before you.
Yes.
I did not do anything to you, right? On the lighter side. Okay, let me come back to the thing. First and foremost, a time is given, people generally abide by it. And people who do not abide by that, there are ways and means. The training pattern is devised in such a way, which I would leave the audience to probably join the forces and learn it.
Okay, and one more answer which you gave, that one person has to take a decision and the entire troop has to follow. So what is the mindset of that person who's taking decision, and how he or she is trained? Like nowadays we have women as well in the armed forces. So how he and she is trained that the entire troop listens to them?
This question of yours has given me an opportunity to address some important thing. Mm-hmm. Hats off to those women who are there these days in the forces in every rank possible. Because there was a time, a decision which was not even felt practical. How can women be into the forces? Then in the years of 90s, women started joining the forces into the officers cadre.
Right.
Now there was a decision in 2022. Women have started coming in every possible branches even in the lower level and in the officers level. Even in the officers level, there are only particular branches where the women could join, but that has also been completely opened up to all the women. Hats off to the women, because during this phase when the women were being inducted into the lower ranks also, I was in the training. I was the head of faculty for the engineering training and administration for this new set of trainees. It was for the world which was looking that these women are going to join a place which has generally been dominated by the male, whereas we being in the navy, it was a big challenge for us because we were not prepared to host them. Our basic things like even the washrooms were not designed for the troops from the opposite sex. So there is a mentality outside for gender biasness. We were making it so comfortable for the women so that we can have gender neutrality training. We did not want to give any specific tolerances or some allowances ki you are a woman, you can probably do lesser. No, we have trained men and women equally, and believe me, these women are doing wonders in the forces. At least till the time I was there, I've seen them shaping up so well. All important awards, if you see the records, all important awards are being backed by them.
Yes.
Even in the NDA passing out, I've seen a lot of them taking the best prestigious awards. So now coming to the training pattern, there is no difference between the women and men as far as the training is concerned. And how are they abiding by this? How are they being disciplined? It's told like you are in a situation, there are high stakes involved, and your decision left right from the actual path can incur a huge loss to the people whom you command, to the country for which you're into the uniform. It can create a lot of losses for the country. So these things are very much in our mind, and probably that occupies the entire brain of ours. And so our decisions which is taken are to believe completely that साहब ने डिसीजन लिया है तो वो सही ही होगा.
So, Commander, moving to the last question about the corporate leaders. So, if they will be given a chance for a certain time being to be a part of armed forces, so what do you think that what are the challenges they might face and what are the outcomes it will come out of that situation?
Okay, as I said earlier, the corporate leaders have been far more successful in their life and they have been doing a wonderful job. That's why the country is doing well. But well, yes, if the corporate leaders are going to be put into the forces for a temporary period, yeah, it will be definitely different, and definitely there will be an unexpected sort of turning of events that they will be facing. For example, in the forces, you have a person who has been vertically trained for years and years. He's trained on a particular system and he's maintaining that system throughout his life. So the competency level of that person compared to a competency level of an employee in a corporate may definitely differ, because we don't have shifts of jobs.
Yeah.
The person is doing the same job for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Whereas in a corporate scenario, you have people shifting from one job to the other. Probably sometimes they change the role also. So for a corporate leader to be in the forces, he or she has to be having a high level of competency on the system. So now the next question is that, do armed force officers have that much of competency? Yes, the armed forces officers definitely have a competency which is spread into various areas. I may be knowing the basics of the system, I may not be knowing the exact working of the system and the fault diagnosis. But my understanding of the system first, my understanding of the person who is working in the system, my understanding of his personal limitations, his personal attributes, I'm completely aware about that. I know what is his children doing, what is her or his wife up to, are they having any family problem, because armed forces leaders are not there only to take the work out of them. We bond as a family. There is nothing called professional and personal in armed forces, ma'am. We are together. We are together as families.
Okay.
So the leaders, where the men and women whom they are looking up to, they see them as somebody who cannot be replaced. So for the corporate leaders to be successful into the armed forces, definitely many of them are, many of them would.
Yes.
I would humbly request them that we see our team as a team like our family, and they are going to give you results 100 times more than what you would have been facing in your life. That is the first thing. Second thing is about the integrity. The integrity of armed forces personnel, be it any rank, you can just take for granted they are going to be 100% loyal, if not less. It's 100% loyalty that will come with them. And you tell that this work has to be done, it will 100% be done.
Oh, really?
If it is not done, they'll get back to you.
Okay.
They'll get back to you. I can quote an example here. There was a situation where one of the working supervisor
Yes.
had done a very, very grave mistake. Probably, I don't know how it is in the corporate world. I'm not as experienced as I'm in the armed forces. A person to own up such a mistake, come up to the boss and then say that, sir, I have done this mistake. There have been situations when multiple people in multiple situations have owned up. One advice what I want to give here is, the moment the person working with you or working under you owns up a mistake, it's no longer his or her mistake. It's our mistake. And when as a team we own up a mistake, it's only success after that. So definitely corporate leaders should have a taste of armed forces training also, because finally each one will start understanding each one's difficulties.
And there's a saying in corporate as well that we are a team, we are a family. Whereas, I have heard few stories that there are, situations where saying and, implementing are two sides of a coin. Have you noticed as such in your career, because you are working with the educational institute as well, and you have worked in, Indian Navy as well. Have you encountered as such?
Well, the team spirit is always there. The team or we work as a family is always being imbibed. However, the system of defense forces it's a very long history, ma'am. The Navy, Army, Air Force have been there for hundreds of years. So the level of cohesiveness that has been achieved in the forces, and the level of cohesiveness in a particular organization, that cannot be compared, because there the cohesiveness is required, because you need to fight battles. Today you'll see a person, tomorrow he or she may not be there. They would have been a war victim or something. So we need to take care of the family. So the stakes are very, very high. However, I'm sure even in my organization and other organizations, there is the sense of family bonding that is happening. Definitely, it's in a very positive trend, and I'm sure this will also grow up, man, for sure.
And taking the ownership of the mistake, which you explained, how important it is that, if a mistake is, done and accepted as well, how the leaders should, make sure that, it is being taken care and protected and not used as a weapon in future, in for the corporate leaders, I'm asking. So what message you want to give on this question? You want to...
Human beings are tend to do mistakes. Even the machines don't tell the truth every
Yes,
time.
we do
When
get
when we
wrong
stand on the
answers.
weighing machine, the machine doesn't say the truth always, right? So human beings are bound to give some sort of error sometime. So coming to this, how the mistake should be treated, how the mistake should be accepted. Well, it's an individual choice that depends on the type of leadership. We have always trained by this policy of lead by example. So when we are leading by example, we have gone through those levels and become a leader. So we know how much of energy, how much of concentration, how much of efforts go into getting a successful work completed. So in that bargain, mistakes are bound to happen. The leaders are always expected to have that much of allowance, margin, so that the mistake which is committed doesn't become a grave concern. And it's always better, do not fire the work and forget it. Have a necessary feedback system, get into the work, ensure that the person who's working is very comfortably working. Comfortable as in he's got all the resources with him, he's having enough guidance, he's got enough people to be with him, and always keep telling him, you're doing a wonderful job. You make him realize that your job actually matters for the company. It's you who are making profits for the company. It's you on which the company is coming up. So we need to make each one of them realize that their contribution is immensely important for my organization. When we do this, the mistakes will reduce.
Yeah, rightly said. So thank you so much, Commander Vijay, for sharing your journey, your expertise, and I'm sure our audience, when they will watch and listen to our podcast, we are contributing little bit of our knowledge and expertise, which they can implement in their daily life. So any statement you want to give before we wrap up for today?
Well, I must thank you, Ms. Richa, that you had given me such an opportunity to face the audience for the first time in my life. Because being in forces, we generally do not get into the media unless told to. I was very much looking forward for an interaction here, and I'm very happy. The message what I want to give is, I always believed that if your efforts are sincere and you're going to manifest those things and you see yourself at some place, it will definitely happen.
Yeah.
You will start paving your way, things will start aligning, and you will do it. Here, I'll just take an example. I joined after 12th standard. I did not join as an officer, I joined in the lowermost entry. But I believed that I can become an officer one day. I started imagining myself in the officer's uniform and eventually made it. And I've been really lucky that I made it. And what I wanted to give back to the society, which I've been doing and I would love to do it more, is whoever approaches me, I guide them. And a lot of them from the ranks have made it to the commissioned officers rank while I was in the Navy. One of the recent Agniveer girl is also training for the
Oh,
officers
really?
training.
Okay.
Yes. And please reach out to me and I would love to guide you. And definitely, I'm not looking for anything more than just guiding you. I'm not going to charge you any fees for sure.
So thank you so much to my audience, and definitely we will have more episodes with Commander Vijay. Till the time, stay tuned for Noble by Richa.